Many games are revered as classics, never-aging jewels that still glisten after 10, 15, 20 plus years. Other loved games are nothing more than just a shadow of what they once were. This is Rioshoa, and welcome to Aging Gaming.
I love him, you love him, even Nintendo loves him. Everyone loves this guy, except for Capcom. He's...
Fighting robots, Megaman.
Yes, Megaman, the Blue Bomber. He's really one of the oldest Nintendo characters, even if he's not actually a Nintendo character, because that's where everyone remembers him from. The reason why I'm tackling Mega Man 2 instead of Mega Man 1 here is actually because Mega Man 1 wasn't exactly the biggest splash in the world. I mean, it was considered alright for its time, I suppose, but Mega Man 2 is where it really just took off, where everyone knew who Mega Man was. This was where he made his legend, his legacy, his just general image, really. Now, I'll be throwing away the nostalgia glasses for this particular review, because, I'm gonna be honest with you, I never played Mega Man 2 as a child. In fact, I only played it in more recent years when it got released on the Virtual Console. That being said, Mega Man has always been all about destroying robots, jumping over platforms, shooting enemies, and, to a lesser extent in the Zero series I suppose, stealing the Robot Master's power, or the boss power anyways. To be honest with you, it actually strikes me as rather funny. I mean, considering how popular Mega Man was, like, all my friends knew who Mega Man was before I did. It's honestly a little mind-blowing that I never heard about him during the NES days, because I did grow up starting with the NES, so, you know, that's something worth noting. Like, why would you not tell me about this? I am now mad at my childhood friends! Now, obviously, I am just kidding about that. I'm not mad. But that being said, it still strikes me as funny that I just never heard about, you know, 6 Mega Man games. There were 6 Mega Man games on the NES. Why did I never know this? I went down weekly, every weekend, I would go down and rent a Nintendo game. And I'd get it for like one whole day. Whoopie-doo! But still, I'd rent a Nintendo game, and I never heard about this franchise. You'd think something with like a, I suppose the picture has a man shooting a gun at some sort of robot type thing. That would still look cool in my, you know, 4-year-old eyes, 5-year-old eyes, maybe even 6. I was starting to get into the SNES at that point, I think, though. It's still, like, this should register as, ooh, I should get this. Now, as we know, the Mega Man franchise as a whole is really loved. Beloved by many. Many that don't include Capcom, but still beloved by many. And a lot of people still stand by Mega Man 2 being the best in the franchise. That's why I figured why not review it and find out for sure. Let's dive in. Seriously, I haven't even actually selected a mode or started playing, and I'm already getting enticed to play, because the Mega Man franchise as a whole has amazing music. I love the soundtracks in the Mega Man games. Always, 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 always love it. It really sets the mood. This is an element that can really carry the strength of a game. If immersion is such a concern for today's player, Mega Man 2, hell, the entire franchise immerses the player with a super catchy beat. The music has always been just extremely enjoyable. That being said, let's dive man in. This has always been one of the strongest points of the Mega Man games, which is to select the stage you want to take, any route you want. That being said, I'm going to go with Metal Man starting off because, well, even though I haven't played much of the game before, I am aware Metal Man is just ridiculous. This is going to sound funny to say, but one of the strongest aspects of the Mega Man games on the NES is the 2-button setup. You have jump and shoot. Yes, I'm aware I sound like I'm ripping off someone else famous with those lines, but this is still a fact. Sure, you have pause to select other weapons you've attained from the Robot Masters, but when it comes down to it, all you do is run forward and jump and shoot. Robot Master, jump and shoot. Giant Robot, jump and shoot. Flying Robots, jump and shoot. It's simple and brilliant. The setting for all the stages are actually quite varied. From dark to bright, Woods to Factory, no two stages feel the same, which is great. The same can be said for the Robot Masters themselves. That being said, be warned, the difficulty curve really varies for each master. Quickman is pretty tough without his weaknesses, but Metal Man, while having an overpowered weapon, he sucks. If there's any initial complaint I could have with any given stage, it's the enemy placement. It's not an issue throughout entire stages of the game, but you are often placed in situations where you are basically screwed. I have panned into the next screen just to get hit by an enemy, or found myself virtually defenseless because I have nowhere to go. Thankfully, this is not a constant problem in the game, and health is not a super limited resource, so it can generally be overlooked, but it's still annoying when it happens. Now, whereas I like most of the stage layouts, there is two particular stages I really want to maybe just dig into a little bit. Stage number 1, Bubble Man. Ah, it burns my eyes! Ah! Stage number 2, Flashman, and Flashman's a little less obvious because, well, I did state Flashman has a certain slipperiness to it. I don't understand why. It's really infuriating. Ice physics are very hit and miss with a lot of players, and often it's a hit with me. However, there's no reason to have ice physics in Flashman stage. I freeze time, so you slide on my floors? Like, where's the logic in that? If there's anything else also really worth noting, for the annoyance side of things, it's also the fact that after every stage, you have to go through the long and gruelingly slow process of actually getting the Robot Master's power, which literally is just a screen that goes, say for example, F, get equipped with Time Stopper. It's rather grueling, and to make matters worse, if you actually get one of the items, which are specialty, not really weapons so much they are just utility items, it's such a slow process because you have to just sit there and wait for Derpy Light to finish just going through the process. It's slow. Again, this is nothing really major, but it's kind of one of those, you know, so many little annoyances piling on top of each other, so it's still worth noting. However, there is one particular segment of the game that does fall flat on its face. Wily Stage 3. The boss for the stage is five laser things, eyes? Sentinels, I guess? Whatever, 5 thingies. They can only be destroyed by crash bombs, same as the doors that protect them. The stage room is designed so that you have exactly enough crash bombs to destroy all the required doors and laser things. You need to use items 1 or 3 to get around the other doors, and if you die, you don't get your crash bombs back. Oh no. This is the real problem for the game. You can grind, so it's a slow option, but it strictly ruins the flow of the game. And if you mess up the boss chamber, you have to let yourself die. Granted, the doors stay destroyed, but that's just not good enough. It's frustrating, it's bad, it's enough to make you want to turn off the game. Granted, I grinded before bosses in a couple of stages, but it was only to top off my health or some sort. This is a whole other level of annoyance. The only other frustration that comes from this game is probably the boss rush at the end of the game, straight into the Wily boss afterwards. I mean, it's nothing too terrible. I had to restart a few times, but it's still pretty fun. You have to get used to Wily's patterns, and this, while being infuriating, is pretty enjoyable when you do beat him. Once again, down to no friggin' crash bombs, and 1 life left. Screw it, I'll just keep using the Mega Buster till he kills me, and then I'll just... I beat him! On to stage 2, where I'm just gonna throw Metal Blades until he dies! Metal Blades! Metal Blades! Metal Blades! Eat Metal Blades, you jerk! There is a final short stage afterwards, but it's nothing too challenging. A lot of the normal stages are actually harder. What it all boils down to is, Mega Man 2 is actually a game with a lot of ups and downs. That being said, there's more ups than there is downs. Generally speaking, there's a lot of creative bosses, and some of them are more infuriating than others, and most of the stages are actually pretty enjoyable. There's just a lot of little flaws, with the exception of one major flaw in the Wily stage that's really worth pointing out. Generally speaking, I mean, this game's like, what, a $5 game on the Virtual Console, for example? Pick it up. $5, you ain't going wrong. I mean, the game's pretty fun. Lots of replay value, since you can choose any path you want. I honestly would recommend this game, but take it with a grain of salt because, again, there are some just minor frustrations with the exception of the one major frustration that I've already mentioned. Either way, though, that's my final verdict on the game. Has the game aged? Yeah, a little, but nothing major. Thanks for watching. Well, hey, look, you made it to the end of the video. You have done well. And I think I will award you with what you're seeing right now. The ending scene for Megaman 2. It makes absolutely no sense, but I'm now going to pop up subscribe. Just, feel free to click on that. I'm also going to suggest that you hit the like button, and suggest that you also maybe comment and share with your friends. Well, that's all I got. You can go now. Well, after you do the things I tell you to do. Alright, see ya.